So I guess before I actually go to the first mission, you might see something up here that kind of keeps popping up. This basically talks about what's happening or the actions that someone has done in this chat channel on this server that you're on right now. So if you accidentally click this, no, oh, okay, I guess you can't click it right now. But if you accidentally click this, there's gonna be a big menu popping up from the left side. That has all the words about like, hey, what is going on? What is the server doing? What is someone doing? Just don't worry about it. Click it off this. Click it off the new window, and it's gonna go away. So just don't worry about it. So we're gonna get it started and go for the first mission. So you got a little dot right here. So click. Now it's gonna start talking, and in the actual game, you actually hear Japanese voice acting in this game. So there's Chinese down here, but all the voice acting is all in Japanese. And that's one of the greatest things about this game. The character design looks great, so a lot of cosplayer loves this. Now, since we don't really care about the storyline at this point, so there's this little blue button right here that will skip the conversation. And that's what we're gonna do right now. So now we're in the game. So this is basically the battle system. I'm not gonna go into details other than just give you some ideas about like, hey, what's actually going on. I'll talk more about the battle system in the future in a different video. But I'm just getting you started in here. Just keep clicking the screen. It's going to tell you what this button is for, what that button is for, but I'll just go through that quickly. So just click until all those words goes away. You can drag the screen to kind of see what the battlefield looks like. But this is basically kind of like a Final Fantasy RPG turn-based style gameplay. This is my main character. This is the enemy. You can spin around, do whatever you want. Now, okay, let's say I got kind of lost. I don't really know which one is my character and which one are the enemies. There's this little compass right here that you can click to reset the camera, so that you're always on the bottom left and the opponents are always on the upper right. Now, to get this game started, the tutorial basically teaches you on the right hand side, this is the action bar. The lower you are, that means it is that character's turn. Now there's going to be a character's speed and things like that kind of factor into which character's turn goes first. But as you can see, this icon of me, his name is Sei-mei, or is at the bottom, so that means it's basically my character's turn. Yellow is my team, and I say my team because in the future you can actually do 2-player, 3-player gameplay. So yellow is always going to be people on your team, and red is always going to be the enemies. At the bottom here, you can see there's 0/8 right here. Now this 0 represents the amount of basically a magic power, MP, or in other games, how much magic you can use. Let's not worry about that for now, since this tutorial is not going to talk about that at this point. So, and these here are your skills or attacks that you can use. For him, at this point, he has 2 skills. You can click on them, and it would talk about what kind of skill that is. But don't worry about what it's talking about. I'll explain it in the future. But you can see that if I click on the icon on the left side, there would be an orange icon aiming at the enemy. But if I click on the right icon, right here, there will be a blue icon showing up on my character. So all it really means is this is an attack that you pick an enemy to attack. This is a defensive recovery or those kind of skills for your own character, and that's how you can tell. So it's gonna talk about what each of the skills are. So I'm just gonna click this, attack. This is what you should be doing first. And then it's the dodge's turn. Now it's gonna keep explaining with more tutorials. Just skip it, click the screen. So it's like, now try to defend. You click the skill that you want, and then you point it at the target that you want to apply the skill to. So this is basically a shield that I can take a couple hits based on my hit points. Now you can see that there's a number 3 here on my skill now. That means there is a cooldown time. It would take 3 turns for me to be able to go for the cooldown and be able to use this skill again. So I'm just gonna click this to get rid of the tutorial. So I can't use this skill obviously now. There is no skip turn, so you can't skip your turn. You can't just perform no action at all in one turn. And there's actually a good reason to this, and you'll see it in the future as we go along. So my only choice is to attack, so I'm just gonna click it and click target on the enemy. That breaks my shield, and all I can do is click and attack again. Woohoo! So that's a win. Now you get experience points based on whatever stage you play. Of course, the more experience points you get, your level goes up and etc. So that's your experience bar. And this is basically your reward after a battle, and you're gonna get some kind of reward after every battle. So I'm not gonna explain it for now. Again, in the future I will. Just click and accept everything. Now it goes back to the storyline mode, basically. So in the storyline mode, you can kind of walk around a little bit by clicking the ground, so you can see what's around here. But all you really need to do is click the 3 dots. See, if you're away from the screen to the point that you can't see the character that has the 3 dots, it would actually show on the edge of the screen, and that works too. And he's gonna just walk back. Now just jump through it with this skip button right here, as I showed you earlier. And this is, instead of a conversation, this is basically a video cutscene. So this button again is another skip button that you can click, and I'm just gonna skip through this. So now he became Dodge again. Just keep going through the storyline, click the 3 dots, skip, click the 3 dots again, skip, and more 3 dots, skip. 3 dots, skip. So there's a lot of storyline going on. So now it would go through the tutorial of you summoning your first Shikigami, which is basically like I'm just gonna call it a ghost. I'm probably gonna make a lot of just a quick nickname for everything that we have for this game, just because it's easier that way. I'm not gonna go through speaking Japanese every single time when we do that, so just click for the notification. So you're gonna get your first summon right here. This is a lot like games like Puzzle and Dragons and I don't know, many other games that you have your first summon. Usually the first summon is random, but in this case of this game, it's actually not random. So don't waste your time trying to go for the tutorial to get something better, because it's really not random at all. So that was the summon, and now you're in the summon screen. Just skip through the tutorial that is. Okay, now it says click this to summon. There's 3 summons basically. There's a normal to rare, rare to SSR, rare to SSR summons. Now, basically just follow the tutorial. Summon your first ghost. As you can see, you can actually draw on this little paper when you do a summon, so you can just do whatever you want, just random things. So this is a rare monster, and I'll explain more about what these 2 little stones here means and all that. But after you make your first summon, click OK. So skip through more pop-ups. Now it's gonna ask you to draw from here instead. Now this blue ticket and this black ticket are actually the same kind of summon. We'll talk more about the summons later on, but let's just go through this for now. Click it again, draw something. You don't have to draw a star, you can draw whatever you want. I mean, I draw a star just for the heck of it right now, but I'll just add something. I don't know. It's terrible. Now this is another standard monster. It is a SR. It is pretty useful to a certain degree. This is basically your starters, and she's gonna be pretty useful in the beginning, and just stick with her for now. Click OK. Now you're gonna draw a normal monster. Click. Oh, this is actually a pretty good one. It's a rare. Very useful recovery character. Okay. Now it's gonna ask you to exit right here. Just the little back button. And now you're on the main screen again, and now you can actually move around, and since you already went through the storyline, or at least the tutorial storyline. So you can see that there's more storyline that you can go through right here from the 3 dots. So that would be what we're gonna do next.